Hello there everyone, I'm Neurobax. Welcome back to the Aston Martin save. We're going to continue. We have a few races left, and then we're probably going to shelve this save. Because of that, I want to do a little bit of testing on editing. The last episode in particular was really long. So I'm going to be editing the races down a little bit, particularly the moments where nothing is happening. So I'll be testing that for the last two parts here for Aston. And let me know what you think about that, if you want to keep them in their entirety, or if the smaller, well, the boring parts cut out, so to speak. But yeah, we're going to continue with Aston. The goal here is very simple. We're going to push through and get through this fairly simply. Also, please like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. With that in mind, let's get going. Monza is in just 4 days. We do have a research completer in the rear wing. That'll be happening soon, but first let's go through our inbox. Suspension has been manufactured, good. Car development, car is still looking decent. We're only lacking acceleration and cooling really. A little bit in top speed, but again, we can live with that. Financial reports, we have 68 million, so I think we're good there. New ATR period, pretty good. And I think we are gonna just continue doing research, because honestly there's not too much else to do. Drag reduction, we're still, as you can see, losing a little bit of expertise due to the research, so honestly probably just keep on focusing rear wing until we get there would help. Question is, do we want to save our ATR period and to use on, say, the underfloor? Let's just have a quick look here. The new ATR period just started, so in theory there should be a while before the next one, and if I remember correctly, that is 2 or 3 months. It's been a while. There we go. So 28th of October, 7 weeks, about 2 months. Again, it's been a while, so I don't really remember where we are in terms of settings. Underfloor is looking good though, drag reduction at 84. So what I'm thinking is we just put the ATR into the rear wing. We already have the best car, so I don't really need to think too hard about this. And the rear wing will probably benefit. The only question is, would the benefits we gain from investing into the rear wing be better spent, say, on the side pods or something else? Simply because, as you can see, the gain we get isn't really that huge, all things considered, because we have a very high-end rear wing to begin with. So let's say that we take side pods, for instance, and put the research into it. It would potentially, as you can see, be way more beneficial for us. Well, not way more. About the same, honestly. But it could definitely be something that we do here. Just start using ATR periods for other things. Again, we are #1 in cornering. We are #1 in dirty air cornering. What we're really lacking is just top speed. So using the ATR period here to, again, just boost this piece. It'll also make sure that we don't lose anything in terms of research. Could be worth it. We'll just do a quick side pod, because again, they are falling far behind. We are 65, 57, so I think we'll do this. It'll just be a bit more interesting way of doing it. A bit more cheeky, maybe. So let's do the side pods, and let's do the chassis after that. Get things up to tax brass. Other than that, race prep Italia. Qualifying, top 2 should be doable. Q2 for both drivers should be more than doable. Finish position, 1 driver. Top 2. May just be a bit apprehensive. Yeah, let's head to Monza and let's see how this race goes. Qualifying is over. We qualified first and second, which isn't that surprising, honestly. We had about 4 tenths to third, so we have a very dominating car. As expected strategy here, it's 1 stops for Monza. Kind of what you expect: medium to soft, soft to medium, or medium to hard. In terms of, well, compound performance, takes about 10-ish laps before the softs start running around the same speed on mediums. After that, they start losing out slightly. Again, it's very slight. They are competitive for 15 laps for sure. Medium to hard, it's even less of a difference, just over a tenth. So again, the hards are probably the better tire than the mediums in this case, if these numbers are accurate, which unfortunately I don't think they are. Pit lane is long, almost 30 seconds. Safety car could change that. So we'll see what we do in that regard. We do have 2 fresh sets of softs for both our drivers. So I think we're just going to do a soft to medium. Sorry, not a soft to medium. I think we might actually start on the medium because as you can see, it's going to start raining. But the softs should make it to the raining period. So yeah, I think we're just going to start on softs for both drivers. That should be okay. And we should be able to make something work from there, I think. That should be okay. Put both drivers on deploy. Push. Sorry about that. My headset is out of battery. My bad. Apologies. But yeah, I think this should be fairly okay for our strategy. It's pretty straightforward and simple. And again, for this race, I'm going to be cutting out a lot of the boring stuff. So we'll see how that goes.
Here we go. It's the Italian Grand Prix. And it's lights
I see a lot of red.
And away we go.
But also, these softs might not actually last until the rainy period. That could be a concern. Leclerc on the mediums. So we'll have to see if the top 10 soft runners are going to be punished or not. Sainz kind of making a move there. Can't really make it stick though. So again, we'll see. It could be interesting to see if those soft runners make it to the rainy period. It's going to start around lap 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there. So yeah, we'll have a bit of a look. We already gained a little bit of a gap with Leclerc. And I believe we will be very, very soon out of DRS. There we are. And with that, I think we'll just see how far we run away by the time we reach the first pit window. Pit window is coming up. We've actually had a crash on track right now. Several cars involved. Schumacher is one of them for sure. It is starting to rain. So seeing as there's several cars that have crashed, I believe all still are moving though. Since it has started raining, we have almost a 10-second advantage. I think we're just going to go ahead and get the pit stop started. In terms of what we can expect in terms of rain, it should never go into the wets. So I'm saying we double stack here and just get both of them on. Get both of them in, hit them. Mainly because it's also a crash, but I don't think we're going to get a safety car. It was just in case. So yeah, Mick kind of skimmed the alpha there. Other than that, we had a couple of running wides, but nothing like really serious. Rain is starting. You see none of the other teams are pitting just yet. We are still in the dries, but by the halfway through this lap, I think we will be into the full wets maybe. Or maybe I was a little bit too early on the trigger here, and that might actually punish us. It's going to be interesting to see, sure.
That's a position gained for AlphaTauri.
There we go, they have started pitting. I believe Alonso though have actually lost out. He came out behind Sainz, so we kind of threw away 10-second there. I thought it was going to get wet immediately, but it did not. Vettels is out good. He had the advantage. But this is going to be, I think, a weird one where it's going to be constantly switching between dries and wets. Alonso has had a lockup. No damage. He's just off the track, unfortunately. So this race did change a little bit. Had I been a bit more clever with the pit stops, we might have been in a better position. Bell is looking good though. It's going to be a question if Alonso can actually catch up to him or not. And honestly, I think he might be able to. We do have a very, very fast car. So it'll depend on how easily Alonso get past Magnussen, Hamilton, Gasly, Leclerc, Verstappen. Ocon is surprisingly up here. And the Mercs are still struggling, kind of. But yeah. Although I was planning to cut this short, I guess we actually have some work to do here. Use overtake on Magnussen, please. There we go. It uses quite a bit of energy though, so we might need to just harvest a little bit to make sure we get past
Like
the alphas. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to harvest for a couple of laps, and that should comfortably get us past the alphas. These tires can make it just barely to the end. Alonso is having issues right now. He ran wide again. Some damage to the underfloor. That's going to slow him down. Unfortunately, nothing we can do about that.
Look at that! They've run wide.
Let's see what actually happened.
Now watch this. Here's Alonso's car. Oh,
Ran a bit wide, maybe bumped into Magnussen, but I think the damage came from just running wide, fortunately. In Vettels' case, we could just let him run as is. We can push a bit of his fuel. He's good out there out front.
Okay, energy's good.
See if we can get Magnussen here on this in this next section. It's going to be a bit challenging, a bit difficult, but I think we can do it. There we go. Next step is again catching up to the two alphas, but with how important the underfloor is, we might actually be in trouble here.
So this was the Aston Martin.
Just takes him on top speed, basically. We are close to Hamilton and Gasly, so let's push fuel. Let's go overtake and see if we can get them on the straight here. Got one. Do we have enough energy to get the second one as well? Yep, we did. Put it back to neutral, and now we can start hunting down the podium holders here, if you will. In terms of lap times, we're doing 26.4s. Leclerc 26.8, 26.8. So yeah, gaining 8/10 a lap, even gaining a little bit on Vettel. But that's mainly that's actually a bit surprising, particularly when you take into consideration that we do have damaged parts on the car. So the caution area is with 20 laps to go. Is Alonso going to have a chance at fighting these guys for a podium? Because Vettel, unless he has an accident, should be able to just have some pretty smooth sailing here. Let's just speed things along, see if we can catch up to the cars in front. And then we'll take it from there. Yeah, we are gaining about 8/10 a lap. So it's basically just going to be catch up to them. Sit in the slipstream and basically recharge for a bit. Fuel range is low. I thought he ran wide again. Fuel range low is not a problem. We might have to conserve a little bit, but it's still 15 laps to go. Multiple cars have crashed in Sector 2.
Like
Magnussen, Hamilton,
let's have a look.
both with penalties. Stepping around a little bit wide, not a big problem. Looks like everyone's still moving though.
On the track. Let's see what happened there. All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here.
Yeah, Magnussen clips the Alpha, and then the other Alpha clips, well, not clips, basically just barges into. Unfortunate, but it happens. No safety car though, so we can't really take advantage by using a safety car to, say, get some fresh tires. Although, to be honest, we probably could with Vettel to some degree here. Hamilton has pitted. He's now dead last, fortunately. That is just how it be sometimes. But yeah, currently we're just recharging ERS. Slow fuel range warning is still popping up. But yeah, I think we can. Maybe probably even on the next straight here. Get some moves done. Let's give him overtake and see if we can get one of the cars. We might be a little bit too far back though to try. Hamilton with a spin, as if his pain wasn't complete. Looks like we're just slightly too slow here with these tires. Track is drying up, but I assume that's just temporarily, yeah. Might need to run a little bit conservative for Alonso too. If we had, if it wasn't for the fact that it's wet, we would have actually been in a good spot, I think. The underfloor damage too does, of course, not help. So he'll probably have one more chance to make a move here. Put him to neutral for a lap or two, see if he... because he is faster than the cars in front. He was gaining 8 tenths, remember? So if we just have him run close for a lap like this, and then give him overtake, he should probably be able to pull something off. He was ahead slightly, and then he fell behind again. There we go. Alonso got 1. He is losing fuel, though, quite drastically. He's actually going negative on fuel. Let's see how these last couple of runs go. Again, I was planning to make the episodes a bit shorter because there wasn't much happening, and then Alonso was just like, nah, we need to have some fun. But yeah, unfortunately, damage to the car. We have a good car, but we don't have the top speed here, which is our main problem. We're mainly gaining in the corners, and that makes it difficult for us to overtake, really. We will try something here, probably on the final lap, I'm thinking. Vettel is a good pit stop ahead of the rest.
So this is last lap. This is last lap.
We don't really have the energy, but we are close enough that I'm going to do this. Push and aggressive. And we already used a little bit of extra fuel. Go overtake, final lap. See if we can push something. Verstappen actually overtook us on the other end, so yeah, the underfloor damage is probably the worst thing you can suffer. Okay, that was cheating. He just ghosted through us. Is this a one?
That's checker flag.
Great job, guys.
That was kind of me. That was kind of bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. We did get him back though, but yeah, 6 for Alonso is not what we like to see. But honestly, a bit unfortunate there with both the lockup, but also the lockup that led to underfloor damage. Battle, very dominant win, 30 seconds ahead. And Perez scores second. Ocon on a podium. The Ferraris, us, Verstappen, Bottas, Russell, kind of made it up a little bit there. They started further back. And then the final point goes to McLaren. Driver Championship, Perez moves up. Vettel gains a bit on Alonso. Other than that, no real big changes here. The Constructors' Championship, McLaren kind of losing out a little bit to Merck here. We'll see if they can make a comeback. Alpine scoring good points for them. Almost, well, more than a quarter of their current points. That is good to see. Arge with a development point is nice. Not the greatest race for, again, Alonso, which is understandable. Vettel gets a bonus for winning. We can live with that. We do have new regulations proposed, and we'll have some suspension research coming in. Financial changes to the prize money. Honestly, again, I'm going to vote against this. Anything that buffs me, but nerfs the rest of the teams isn't something that I want to do. Cyril has some points. Put them into hit the underfloor. He is lacking on suspension part though. No one else. Condi has a point here. Can put that into, I guess, drag reduction, honestly. And other than that, I don't think we have anything in particular that needs to be done. Yeah, let's move along. Research, get that done. Suspension. And let's see where we stand now with said suspension. Is it actually getting to the point where it would be an upgrade? It's almost there. Well, it is technically there. So we could just keep on bombing out the suspensions, but I think we get a little bit gain here on the chassis. I still gonna need one more cycle to really be into the positives here, except for the engine cooling part. So let's get the chassis through a cycle too. 15 days for Singapore. Should be alright. Regulation vote results. it went through, unfortunately. Tiebreaker. Not much we can do about that. We are lacking underfloors though, so let's go ahead and manufacture once more. I did have Alonso damage one, so it's not a big surprise. I will need to do that. There we go. It's even finished in time. And here we go. Singapore. Before that, let's just set up everything. Qualifying 1-2 should again be doable, unless accidents. Both drivers in Q3. One driver in top 2. Just play it safe. And I think with that, we're ready for our next race weekend. Let's go. Qualifying has finished, as you can see. Another 1-2, as we have become very accustomed to. Tires here. Stops actually have a huge advantage of almost 6/10 compared to the mediums, and the degradation is kind of high, if you take that into consideration, but at the same time, if you can keep them alive for 30 laps, they will, in theory, still be quicker than the mediums. Mediums to hard, we have another 7/10, but it's not as bad there. It's about 15 laps, 16, 17. And hard to soft, on the other hand, is almost 1.3 seconds. So even with 0.06 difference between them, it's still going to take, again, 20-ish laps before they are weaker. And this is Singapore. Chances of a safety car are pretty high. The pit lane is long. Like, it's almost guaranteed we're going to get a safety car. Pit lane is very long, so we'll see what we do here. I think we start on softs to try and get away from the rest of the pack. Simply so that we do not get deleted by our opponents. As you can see, we can start on softs. We can then go mediums, and it's not a problem. And as you can see, even towards the end of their life cycle, they are still theoretically faster than the mediums. So we can just do a very easy soft to medium one stop here for both our drivers. It is the best strategy. It is the easiest strategy to use too. Car parts are looking good, and as I said, we'll just deploy, use a bit of fuel, and with that we should easily run away here from the get-go. That's the goal, at least.
The drivers are lined up. We're just moments away from the Singapore Grand Prix.
There was a lot of penalties this race, so as you can see, Gasly pretty high up, Hamilton down here. I guess they didn't take too many hard penalties. Vettel actually lost the position immediately to Perez, but looks like he's getting it back. So with that, pretty straightforward launch here, pretty simple, and we're already almost at a full second ahead. Like, let's see where we were at this after this first lap. 2 seconds so far. Might even breach the 2.5. So yeah, I'm just gonna let's just push still for a little bit while longer, but we can go neutral DRS, and I'll be back if something happens. I think this is gonna be, again, just a parade for our boys, unless they
Car in the wall.
unless they get into trouble here. But we have a car in the wall, yellow flag.
Yellow ahead.
I would assume it's Magnussen, but he is back to driving, so that I don't think there will be a safety car. Here we are, lap 15, first safety car. As you can see, the rest are hitting, but unfortunately we were so far ahead that by the time the safety car message popped up, we were already past the pit lane. But we can still pit. Like, there's nothing that stops us from doing so. Pitting onto hards would last to the end of the race for sure. But again, we have such a huge advantage speed-wise. Like, we had about 20 seconds when this incident started. So what I'm thinking here is that we just go on to probably the mediums. That should be fine. We could go on to another set of softs. We do have another set of softs for both. But as I said, I think we will just do the simple thing here. We'll go on to mediums for both of our drivers. We're going to be stacking up, but again, as you can see, absolutely everyone is pitting. So we should have more than enough time to pit and come out safely. Direct hitting the wall. But yeah, as I said, should be more than enough time here to double stack and get out ahead. I believe Show did not pit, and Magnussen, who had the accident, he's still so far behind that Well, Magnussen had a smaller accident earlier, lap 2, and he's still so far behind on those hards that he didn't even have a chance of catching up. So yeah, a bit concerning. Vettel and Alonso both have been both have gotten their pit stops done, and even then we still have plenty of time here. I'm gonna be lazy and just leave things as is. Should be okay. And let's see if we get this safety car going.
Safety car will be in this lap. Copy.
Honestly, I kind of felt like Magnus should just have pitted for mediums this stage. But as you can see, yeah, we have some new hard runners. They're gonna struggle, but they are going to be on a one-stopper. We have Sainz here going mediums as we did. Hamilton, Rick, Joe started on the mediums. Same for Schumacher. Russell, Verstappen, Norris, and Stroll 2 went on the mediums. So we'll see how that plays out. Honestly, the mediums won't last to the end. So we have basically decided that we are gonna pit again here for both of our cars. But again, we have fresh softs. We can push hard towards the end. We had 20 seconds in 15 laps while taking it easy, so I'm not concerned. And as you can see already, we have kind of ran away with it, so let's not waste energy. We can go use a little bit more fuel. But yeah, we're already almost 4 seconds ahead because Show is holding them up for us here, actually. So yeah, we're getting already a super sizable
DRS is enabled. DRS is enabled.
Super sizable lead, 6.4 seconds. 2 laps after safety car. That's quite wild. But yeah, I'll keep on going and we'll see where we end up at the end.
No DRS.
We have another safety car. Crash on track. We have enough of a gap here, I think, that we could, if we really wanted to. Seems like it's actually Show that's gotten involved here, seeing the gap. We could go into a new set of mediums, and that could last until the end, potentially, yeah. And I think even if we end up behind Sainz, it's not a big issue, so we are gonna take advantage. As you can see, we're estimated to come out behind Sainz, but again, our car is dominant enough that I don't think that will be a problem. So let's see what happened with the crash. Hamilton is out. But yeah, we'll get on the mediums, and if we have some more accidents, we might just completely skip going onto the softs again.
Now watch this. Lewis Hamilton involved in this one.
I lock up into the wall, unfortunately. But yeah, we might come out behind Sainz there. Well, we will come out behind Sainz for both our drivers. But again, as I said, it's not a concern for me. We will be able to overtake Sainz on the restart for sure. So this should be okay. I'm still surprised that the AI isn't flexible like Magnussen here. He could get on faster at mediums. That would actually get him to the end of the race. So, a bit disappointing. But that is not our concern right now. Let us get the safety car restart going. So again, we're just going to push fuel. I guess we won't set Vettel to overtake just yet. We'll have Alonso get it done first. And once he gets the move done, we can do the same for Vettel.
Copy.
Kind of looked like he was about to send it there immediately, which would be kind of fun. But Show is still holding 4th place. That's impressive in its own right. So Alonso's making the move. Can have Vettel then move forwards too, because I think Alonso is gonna, yeah, he's gonna get the move done. We'll tune Alonso a little bit down, purely because we want Vettel behind him for DRS.
Good job.
And now we can just put both to deploy, burn a bit of fuel.
Energy if you need it.
And as I said, we can just run away again on those fresh mediums. Sainz is already outside of DRS while being overtaken within this same lap. So again, we are a little bit overpowered, I dare say, at this stage. Tune down, and let's see how the rest of this race goes. We've had another crash on track. This time it's just a virtual safety car. There's quite a bit of a gap here, but it looks like Show might have been involved. He's in the pits, Show and Ricciardo. It is, again, quite the gap in the grid here. Gasly, actually. Started fourth, so...
Let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one.
Okay, he just clipped the wall. Well, hit it with the front, and then the rear wing snapped too. The rear tire snapped, sorry, not the wing. Virtual safety car ending. Again, I don't think we have any problems here. We are 13 seconds ahead of Sainz, and then another 23 down to Bottas.
DRS is enabled.
Another safety car. I think that we did just take the opportunity and get on the softs for last in laps. This, again, no real negative by doing so. So just let us get both of our cars to the softs. And that should be alright. Latifi in the wall. Everyone is pitting. Magnussen is back in last again, unfortunately.
Thank goodness.
Directly in the wall, as we're getting used to on this track. Yeah, Magnussen has not had the best of days here. He's been running before he pitted. Now he's still running the hard tire, so we'll see if he can make something happen during the restart. It's gonna be interesting. Still think we have a very dominating position. Again, we're on first softs. No one else has first soft. Bottas, Perez are probably going to get just a leader by Sainz here. They have old hards. They should be 1.5 seconds or even slower than that compared to the soft tires. So Leclerc, Ocon, Tsunoda too, going to be in danger from basically everyone behind them. So I'm curious to see how that goes in terms of the tires. Push and deploy for both our drivers to the end here, and I think we might as well just follow it. See how much of a gap we managed to eke out against the cars behind us. So that was 4.5 seconds basically on one singular lap. That is a bit too much. At this rate, we will actually be as pit stop safe by the time we finish this race. But yeah, the main thing I'm curious about here is the tires. If the AI is going to be able to overtake. Sainz has already gotten Bottas, and that's not really a big surprise. Oh, okay, that might be bad. Fuel range getting low. I might have allowed it to run a little bit too long, but I think Alonso will be okay. We just conserve for a couple of laps. Might need to tune down the tires too, but I think we're safe. Yeah, 15 seconds. Bottas is actually doing kind of surprisingly well. I think he got a little bit of a push there from Sainz, maybe a little bit extra DRS for a couple of laps. But I'm surprised that Russell, well, actually that Russell is behind Show for starters, but I'm surprised they haven't pushed further up.
Last lap. Last lap.
Guess the DRS is just a tad bit strong, even if you have a lot quicker tires. Vettel victory,
So
Alonso second. Yeah, and didn't interfere too much with them. Ferrari podium. And we have Bottas in fourth. Joe actually managed fifth there. Good for him. Disappointing race for Gasly, unfortunately, down in 13th, starting fourth. But generally, AlphaTauri being a bit of a surprise here. The rest is kind of normal. With this, Vettel is now gaining once again on Alonso, but again, he's still 29 points behind. Sainz is creating a gap down to Leclerc. Verstappen, Perez. Still a bit too distance between them. Russell and Norris. At this rate, I think Russell and maybe even Bottas is going to overtake him by the end of this season. And in terms of constructors, we have no real changes. And I believe we already have technically won the title. I don't think Ferrari can score enough points in the remaining races to be a problem for us, unfortunately. Alonso with a point. Development point. Good to see. And we pay out a bit of money here for Vettels bonus clause. Let us see. Development point in braking. Of course, it is the most powerful stat. Auga has a bunch of stats too that we can use. I'm just going to put them in braking. I don't think we'll actually get to the point where we will be using him as a driver, unfortunately, with this save. But it's nice to see growth. Next race is coming up very, very shortly here. Japan. And the car development report. 15 top speed, 10 acceleration. Again, that and cooling is really the only two things we're lagging behind in. Alonso's contract ends after this season. I guess we'll renew it after the season. Mitchell's contract ends too. Again, renew after the season, I think. Memorabilia room. Honestly, not a concern. We can live without some memorabilia. And race prep for Japan. Once again, Q3 for both drivers should be doable. Q2, more than doable. Finish position, one driver top 2. It's just safer to gamble like that. And the rest, the other one here is still in effect. So with that, we can head to Suzuka.
Oh, a nasty crash.
Yeah, with the race, but as you've probably just seen, Alonso had a crash in Q2 quali, meaning that he is qualified in 15th. So kind of unfortunate. That's just how it be. As sometimes, Vettel qualified first. Very good from him. But what I'm considering here is due to, although this isn't really a super overtaken track, it's okay. I'm thinking that we just take the penalties we need to the end of the season here. Particularly for Alonso. But we might need to just take a light one too for Vettel. We'll take the Makoda. But generally we'll have to see here. Compound performance, softs are not super good here. As you can see, mediums are a lot better. And hards will lose out to mediums quite hard. But then again, degradation is quite high. Time consideration, it is a long pit lane. So I do need to keep that in mind. And as I said, with this, component-wise, as you can see, Alonso didn't actually lose out too much. Luckily enough. But as I said it with Vettel, he has only one engine that is kind of high right now. There are 5 races, including this one. So if you take that into consideration, we might want a new engine. The ERS should survive, but again, it's one of those risky things that if we take a penalty, take a ERS penalty too. But the main concern is actually the gearboxes. He will need a new one of those for sure. So since we're taking penalties on Alonso, what I'm thinking here is that we eat a engine penalty and probably a gearbox penalty here for Vettel, just to make our life a little bit easier going forwards. And because micromanaging both of them probably is a bit better in terms of a race, rather than doing it in 2 different ones, which doesn't actually make sense when you think about it. But I won't do that again. Alonso is good. He's just lacking. We'll just give him an extra ERS here. He doesn't actually need an extra gearbox, but since we're giving an ERS, he's going to start from the back of the grid anyways. So with the amount of money we have, it's not actually a problem to just give him extra components. Again, don't really need them, but there's no reason not to when we have an opportunity like this. Unless, of course, it's the cost cap that would be punishing us. So yeah. Again, could get an ERS too for Vettel, but 10 places, I believe it is now, should be alright. Does the race strategy soft? Well, we actually have a wet race here. I didn't actually pay enough attention. So starting on softs is probably the play, then we go wets, probably a little period of inters, and then wets again to the end, by the looks of things. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, with that in mind, starting on softs is not a problem at all. We shall start on fresh softs for both cars, and we'll push as much as we can immediately here. Deploy. Push. Well, overtake rather than deploy. Yeah, as you see, he would have started 14, so we'll take the penalties here on a wet race. Probably not the best place to do it, though, if you consider it from that perspective, but it should make for a more entertaining, a little bit more entertaining of a race in Suzuka.
The drivers are warmed up. They're ready to go here at the Japanese Grand Prix.
I see a bunch of soft tires there, and my concern is because they're running older soft tires. Vettels actually at the back. We should have just taken the ERS2. That's my bad. Probably because we've taken components earlier. I was a little bit unclear on the rules. As you can see, AI here in top 10 for the most part. We moved out of top 10, but that's why Hamilton is on fresh. All running old softs, and it should be fine in terms of the rain. But if the rain had come a few laps later, the AI might not be, you know, might not be okay, so to speak. We can also run aggressive if we really want to. It'll save us a couple of seconds, so we might as well just tune the tires up from the get-go here. Again, should be rain within the first 10 laps, even though right now it is kind of sunny. So
we just need to push now.
Let's see if we can get some places here in the beginning. And maybe climb our way back up on the podium for our lads. Already have a yellow? Someone ran wide, but clearly not a lot because they haven't ended up behind us.
All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here. And they've gone wide. Way wide.
I've seen worse, honestly. Barely was off the track. Yeah, I'm thinking we'll speed things up a little bit here. Again, we should be able to make some moves before the rain starts. And if we get on the rainy tires at the correct time, it'll benefit us a lot more. Although it would be nice if we don't end up fighting between Alonso and Vettel, for instance. It's going to be a bit rough here. Looks like Vettel was about to touch that too on the Haas in front. Well, I do guess Alonso is probably not going to have any real problems getting the overtakes done. Or maybe he will be. We'll see. He has Latifi in front of him, of all people. Field is still pretty bunched up. We have Albon up there. But I would think this shouldn't be too much of a problem for our drivers here in the long run. Getting Alonso a little bit down so he doesn't, you know, burn everything.
DRS enabled.
Looks like Aston Martin have
And
just gained a race position.
Kind of battle burn a little bit more, but he's also getting into neutral territory. He did get Latifi though. So we'll see, as I said, how far can we get before the rain starts. If we can get past Gasly and Albon relatively quick, that would be good. But it is kind of rough at times to overtake here. There we go, Alonso with double overtake.
Play there. They've moved up a place.
That's just if Vettel can do the same thing. Oh. Alonso copies what he did in quali, unfortunately.
Oh, and that's a crash. Here's the replay. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. And that's an off. And a big off.
Just a luck when a crash, not much we can actually do about that. It is a safety car though, it's a bit early in terms of the rain. If we were really cheeky, lap 7, lap 8, we might have tried to go in for, you know, the wet tires, but again, it's still a few laps too early. So,
we are expecting rain pretty soon.
Gonna be interesting. Okay, so even with the 100% forecast center, it isn't actually accurate enough here. You can see we're expecting light rain, then heavy rain. So I'll have to see exactly what we do here, because I assume safety car is going to be back in this coming lap. And then the rain's going to start. If we just... Because it should be wet. So, like, look at this. It should be wet. It should be pouring for a while. So what I am thinking is that we might just jump into the pits right away now.
We are expecting rain pretty soon.
And I think we will.
Okay.
And hopefully that'll benefit us. We'll have to see. A safety car is coming in though. But I assume a lot of people are going to be jumping into the pits here.
Safety car will be in this lap. Safety car will be in this lap.
So there's going to be some people out here who suffer. It's not going to go full wets immediately.
So there is no overtaking until...
Should be another 3 minutes until it's full wets. So we'll have to see what the AI has chosen. And we have Norris on inters, but the rest are on wets like us. So it's going to be a bit interesting to watch this, see how things play out. For now, I'm thinking we just push as much as possible. And see if we can do some overtakes on the pit lane.
There is a small sprinkling of rain.
Copy.
Yes, a small sprinkling. So yeah, how many are we going to get on the pit lane? We kind of got stuck there behind Albon, so we didn't get as many as I would have liked. We barely got one. We have still a couple of Inter runners. So once it starts raining properly, they're probably going to have a not as fun time. Yeah, we'll have to see what we can do here with the current setup here, because unfortunately, because we were so far behind, we kind of got jumped in the pit. Track condition has changed to wet, so the Inter runners are going to start suffering a bit. Norris is pitting. We are going to jump him. Yeah, it's going to be a bit interesting, although it looked like Vettel did just a double overtake.
Aston Martin took a chance and it's paid off. Let's see what happened there. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Damn, Vettel kind of sent it into that corner. Yeah, we are getting close to the points now. We are just a little bit behind Verstappen. But we have a fairly fast car, so I would assume we're going to be in striking distance basically now. And I'm thinking we just let Vettel run his thing here for the most part. There we go. He got next is Hamilton. So honestly, the rain here might be playing to our advantage since it is a high degradation track. We'll see. Tune him down a little bit. But we did lose, as you can see, a bit more durability because we did go on before it was proper wets. But now that we'll see if Vettel is actually gaining on Bottas, Stroll. Gaining a little bit here. Rain is getting lighter, so we'll have to see if we will soon have to go for Inters for 5 to 10 laps. Gonna be an interesting one for sure. Vettel makes a move on Ocon. Very nice. Making our way upwards. But yeah, we are closing in on Bottas there, but he does have a healthy lead out front. Rain is still kind of dropping. Multiple cars crashed. We don't have a safety car though.
Sounds like a few cars have crashed. We can take a look now. Now we see the Williams here.
Williams lock up in an Alpha? Yeah. If he hadn't hit the Alpha there, he would have been out himself, honestly. Thing now is, should we actually go ahead and pit onto the intermediates? Probably around the 2mm mark, maybe 3. We'll see. It's a bit difficult to guess. We'll wait for this rain period to end and then make a decision. The others are pitting right now, so we might as well just follow what they're doing. Go aggressive and pit onto the inters. Tires are severely overheating because we are pushing them, but that's fine. Again, we're going to be pitting this lap. See if we can actually get someone with by pushing here, or if we're going to have more overtakes. Everyone now is pitting, so 2.5 seconds. Not the worst pit stop we ever had. We came out in 7th, so again, also not the worst. Not the worst we ever had, and again, we shouldn't be on these tires for too long, so I think we can stick to aggressive. Should be fine. The concern there is we might be losing a bit too much performance if we do, so tune them down for a little bit maybe, and see where we stack up. We came out behind Schumacher. We should be getting him, yeah, fairly soon, and now we can start hunting down Leclerc, Russell, Perez. Bottas still with a fairly healthy lead out front there.
They've moved up a place.
Could be a, well, not really a surprise victory, but it could be a victory for Bottas here. We will go aggressive on tires because, again, we're not going to be using them for too long. See if we get that extra we need to get Leclerc, Russell, and Perez. Big surprise there's Stroll running a second though, not really Bottas. Guess we are gonna have to go for the like the quick pit stop here. We want to have any chance of gaining enough to win this race, because we're kind of just being stuck. We got by Leclerc, but we are having a hard time getting by. And we don't really have much more fuel to burn to help us out here. We are being held up right now. Four minutes to rain. Full rainfall again, so a lap or two more, then we'll pit. And that should help us out. 2 minutes left, so yeah, I'm thinking we pit this lap. Pitch for the full wets again. Go full on attack.
Looks like Aston Martin have
and hopefully this will pay off here. Because we should be pitting right into the rainy period here, as you can see. We're coming out now with 2.6 millimeters. We will see we'll see if we manage to jump some of the cars in front. Mainly just Russell though. 3 millimeter. We are almost at 4, halfway through the lap. So we might have played it correctly here. We'll see.
We're not okay on fuel.
Russell is pitting. Can we jump in time? Doesn't really look like it. Maybe. Just barely. Nah. A bit too slow there. Didn't completely pay off, but I think it is going to pay off against the cars further ahead. We'll have to see. We just immediately got stuck behind a Gasly here. And that might actually cause us some issues here. But we have gained a lot on Bottas. Bottas was first by quite a good margin there. And now we are up into third, 5 seconds behind 5 seconds behind him now. Which is very unfortunate for Stroll.
Looks like there's been a lockup.
But for now, we'll have to see if Vettel has what it takes to chase down Russell. And, of course, Bottas himself. Looks like it, though. Gained 7/10 on Russell. So, within 10 laps, I'd say, if we can get by Russell, we're within striking distance of Bottas, too. So, we'll have to see. If Vettel gets stuck for a lap or two, we might just go save some ERS. But it looks like he is fighting his way through, or trying at least. There we go. We have gotten Russell.
Let's take a look at the replay. Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel.
That's pretty similar speed though. Yeah, Russell actually got him back, probably because of
Oh, big
he ran
lock up
wide.
there.
Got a lock up and ran wide. That's understandable then, but it's unfortunate losing a lot of time there. It's been a theme lately that the drivers have been making a lot of mistakes. I don't know if they made mistakes more likely with the current patch.
Seems to have been a
Guess I'll have to
lockup.
go and double check the patch notes again, but we still have 10-ish laps to make something work. And our lap times are not super good compared to the cars in front of us, so we'll have to see what we can do. Tuning it up to aggressive could be the play. Because these tires degrade so slow, and we do have a lot of water on the track. I know the fuel range is low, don't worry about it. We are getting closer, gained about a second that last lap. Just getting by and staying there without locking up, that's going to be the challenge here, I guess. See, is Vettel gonna make the move?
Did someone run wide there?
He did. Let's see if he can stay ahead and, as I said, chase down Bottas.
Aston Martin
I
with
know
a
the
great play
fuel
there.
range is like
They've
getting
moved up
low,
a place.
please. It's fine. I'm focusing on other things right now. We are gonna be at -1 for the foreseeable future due to running aggressive though. So we'll have to bear that in mind. Vettel is now free though to chase down Bottas, and as I said, once we get by Bottas we can recharge our ERS. And we can also, if we need to, just conserve a little bit of fuel. And then it'll be smooth sailing once we have ERS, once we have fuel. To just push past them. I think it should be probably an okay strategy to employ here. We might even be able to sneak by while recharging ERS by looks of things. Put the ERS back to normal, give Vettel a couple of laps where we can try just on standard settings, so to speak. And if he cannot, we will give him the overtake button. Or maybe we do that now,
Rain, all clear.
before
Copy.
the track dries up into to the point where the wets are going to be a problem. Although that might have already happened.
Copy.
Single yellow.
Yeah, copy.
Yellow flag, car on the
There's been a
wall.
crash. Here's the
Latifi.
replay. Now let's
The
look.
classic.
We're watching Nicholas Latifi.
He did the same Alonso did, but just a bit softer by looks of things. Yeah, I should pay more attention to the weather. The fact that it dried up is kind of being a bit of a problem right now. It's not gonna super dry up, so we'll see. We might still have some chance. Although that was a terrible exit. Guess we can still try a little bit aggressive, see if we get a little bit extra
Copy.
gain through that. We are gaining. Is the overtake gonna happen? Have we made the move a bit too soon, maybe? We shall see.
Looks like Aston Martin.
Bottas
have
is trying
just
to come
gained a race
back.
position.
We had a crash on track, sector 1. Another yellow flag.
We've had a crash.
Latifi again.
Let's take a closer look. Now just focus on the Haas.
Let me guess, same corner again too?
Oh, a
Yep.
nasty crash there.
Was that a nasty crash? It seemed like he saved it. Kinda. Like he made an error, but then sorta saved it. That makes sense. Hopefully we can keep Bottas at bay here. Give Vettel a victory.
Last lap. Last lap.
And I think we should be capable of doing that. Let's just push a little bit because Vettel... Sorry, not Vettel. Bottas is close. Latifi is still just parked there. He's actually out now. Did he crash again?
I think there's been a lockup. Let's see what happened there. Now let's look. We're watching Nicholas Latifi. And yes, that's the lockup.
Latifi is 3 for 3. But that shouldn't have crashed him out,
Let's check
so
the
something
plan.
else happened too.
Tough race, but well managed.
Did he do a
Yes,
4
mate, well
time
done.
crash here? I should have a look at the incident log after this. But I can't, can I? Yeah, I can. Let's have a look. Events. So, that was Latifi, that was Latifi, that was Latifi. I guess by the combined effort of all of this, he ended up somehow getting enough damage that he DNF'd. But yeah, Vettel won. We did take a bunch of penalties. Unfortunately, Alonso crashed out like he did in quali after just 4 laps. 2-3 from Mercedes, 4-5 from Alpine, pretty strong there. Red Bull's in 6th and 8th, Ferrari 7th and 10th. And then we have the last point score here in Gasly for Alpha. Driver Championship. Vettel is now very close to Alonso. We're going to have a fight for the championship here by the looks of things. Russell and Bottas both move up for the Mercs. Norris gets pushed down. And the Constructor Championship here, we have no changes. Alpine could be getting McLaren, though, by the end of the season. It's going to be interesting to watch. Not a lot of development to be gained, which is understandable. Fair. Also crashing out early for a start in both quali and the race. Pointing race for sure. And we do pay Vettel, though, for his winnings. Put the point in braking for Vettel. Up and coming driver, Manuel Paris. Or Paris, depending on how he wants to pronounce it. Do we have some interesting new ones? Can't propose a contract. Can't propose a contract. Same here. But again, this is an older save. So if they fix this, then it would be nice. But they generally just can't do it. I feel like if they're gonna, again, do this, they need to just be able to be hireable immediately. Since you don't have any say in, like, yeah, F2, F3 championships, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. So he did break something. He actually broke the chassis, and we don't have a spare one. Okay, I'm just gonna give him the new chassis, honestly. I'm just gonna give both cars a new chassis. Be a bit lazy. I'm gonna manufacture a couple of front wings though, because we did break through this weekend. Rear wing looks to be big, good. Side pods are good too. Underfloor is okay. We did break a suspension as well, so let's just get that developed for the next race. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Again, Alonso is probably retiring after the season, unfortunately. But it just be what it be. Not much we can do. Yet another research in here on our suspension. Honestly, at this stage, we could just focus cooling. Maintain the stats and focus cooling. I think could be interesting. See how high we can actually get it. Because right now we are gaining in every single stat here, somewhat. So it's not a bad thing to have cooling catch up. Underfloor research completed. Front wing research completed. And let's see here. Decent boost there, honestly. We are still losing out a little bit, as you can see, for the front wing next season. We are still losing a slight amount of stats, so let's just get that fixed. We could do it with the what's it called? We'll just barely make it to, so we can't actually do it with the ATF. ATF? Wind tunnel. CFD. I don't know what the ATF has to do with this. Sorry about that. Front wing did also complete, so if we want to make another one of those, we probably have to do it now. We're still gonna lose a little bit of stats next season, by the looks of things, so we are actually gonna have to make another one. Just to try and fix that. And brake cooling on this thing is actually quite high. But that is good. Can that get this done in time easily? 22 days though. Could just put one engineer on this. And then we'll have extra engineers for other projects. Well, the 2 other projects. 1 extra engineers. That's fine. Speed up time here. Get ourselves to the next Grand Prix. Front wing manufacturing is complete. Good. Side pods research completed too. All the researchers are finishing here. I'm wondering if I want to keep this slot open just so we can use the ATR period in 14 days on the rear wing. Honestly. We are losing a little bit of the rear wing stats. So before we start any projects, let's have a look. It'll be 21 days. I think I'm going to hold this project open. Because even if we do a research onto the chassis, for instance, here, I don't think we can get it done in time. That's the thing. We do it like this, still the same as the other one. And if we tune it down, as you can see, it even takes more time. So we'll keep the slot open just to make sure that we can get the rear wing done in time. We probably can even if I don't. But I just prefer to be on the safe side on that one. We should be safe though. Having basically 2 months to go. Race prep for USA. Qualifying Q3, both drivers in Q3 should be doable. 1 driver front row. We did have the problems, fastest lap should be good too. And with that, let's head to the next race weekend. Ready for Coda. Qualifying did well. Went well. 1 and 2, kind of what we're expecting. Strategies here are going to be a 2-stopper. For most cars, we're going to try and stay away from the softs because they degrade super quick here. Most highs do. Again, mediums just retain an advantage for about 10 laps before the hards become better. So with that in mind, and again, the soft versus hard is kind of even worse, just 8 laps. So we want to try and stay away from softs. We kind of want to stay away from the mediums too. We're going to try and stick to the hards as much as possible. But again, just all tires degrade really, really quick here. It's just how things be. With that in mind though, we are going to do the medium, hard, medium because we don't have 2 sets of hards. Honestly, Coda is probably the one of the few races where you might want to take manual control over the practice, just so that you can make sure that your car, you have 2 sets of hards for the race. Honestly, of course I forgot about that, but it's an advice I'd like to give. We're gonna just deploy here again. Both our cars are gonna be starting at the front. We're probably gonna run away. Have a pretty chill race, all things considered. We're gonna overfuel slightly here, just by 1 lap to help us along. And with that, I think we can just start and push ahead. And hopefully this will be a pretty chill and straightforward race for us.
Here we go. It's the United States Grand Prix.
Which is kind of sad to say, really. Like, you're hoping the race to be calm.
It's lights out, and away we go.
Okay, so Russell is already on the attack. Vettels should be safe, though, I think. Oh, maybe not. Looks like he is. The overfueling might actually be an issue now I think about it, because it does cause a bit more tire wear since we are pushing the engine. But we shall see. We got away safely in the beginning here. Now let's just see if we can get the
They've moved up a place.
if we can get the gap we need down to Russell and Bottas in terms of a potential ERS zone. But it looks like we are safe. So with that in mind, let us tune down the ERS to neutral. Had a yellow flag there for a second. Probably someone running wide, I would think. Russell actually ran wide. That helps us a little bit. But yeah, for now, we're just gonna allow things to go. We have that DRS gap in front, and we'll see if we have some incidents happening during this race. Just quickly, since I forgot about it, the pit stops here, as you can see in terms of tires, we have Verstappen, Norris, and Stroll in the top 10 on the softs. They're going to have a rough time. Sainz as well is falling down. So as you can see, they're already falling off, kind of, the soft runners, unfortunately, because we are just 8 laps in, and already they are starting to suffer quite a bit. Lap times aren't really that different against Sainz is one of the soft runners. Verstappen, I believe, too. Norris, Stroll, Sainz, Hamilton. Lap times aren't that different, but again, there are DRS trains in motion here, so it's kind of hard to see. As you can see, we also use 5% more approximately so far than our opponents. So we need to keep that in mind too, that the pushing of fuel here might actually backfire a bit on us. We will see. We have 6 seconds down to Bottas at the moment, though. First set of pit stop has been done. They went onto the mediums, so potentially they'll be going onto the hards at the end. We shall see. But I think we will probably ourselves be running these mediums probably all the way into the ground, yeah. We can also go a little bit balanced now, since we have been burning these mediums as hard as we have. Ocon is pitting, more medium tires. But yeah, next set of pit stop should be when we pit ourselves. Okay, here we are. We're getting closer to the pit stops. I'm thinking that we will have Vettel pit first, because he is slightly slower. And
So we think box.
as a result, the plan is basically have him pit first. He is also the second running the train. I think everyone is going to be pitting very soon now. I would assume Russell is going to be pitting this lap too, potentially. He might gain a little bit on us as a result. We shall see. Yeah, Russell's pitting too. But the hope is basically that Alonso will come out around the same time as Vettel. And that way they can run it together. But we did run these tires kind of into the ground, as you can see there. And Alonso is a little bit behind. But I think he can make up the gap there, no problem. We shall just deploy. Burn a little bit of fuel. And as you can see, most others have gone on the mediums rather than the hards. So we'll see if we can, you know, eke this out into our advantage. So Alonso's already caught up. Things are looking good. Let's see how these next few laps go. We just had a second wave of pit stops for Verstappen. And as you can see, a lot of the runners down here, they've gone onto the hards. They're going to be sticking on these hards to the end. Ours are still looking alright. But as you can see, Bottas, Russell, Leclerc, all of these are going to be pitting in the next few laps here. And in terms of the gap at this stage, we have 16 seconds to Russell. We do also have a safety car, which kind of benefits the others more than it benefits us. If we are going to pit here, it would be for softs at this stage, honestly. Because we don't actually have enough medium tires to make this work. So if we were to say pit for softs, it would be something like this. In theory, it would even be slower than what we currently have. So I'm thinking we just stick on the hards. It's a bad timing for us in terms of safety car, but it's just gonna be how it is. If we were on the medium, if we went medium, it might have gone better for us. So we're gonna stick on the hards here. We don't really have a choice, and we'll see how this ends up going. Because even if we do pit, we are gonna have to pit again very, very soon.
Okay, energy's good.
And
Okay, copy.
in terms of laps left, how we're looking, 32. So could go softs. They would be quicker on the restart here. We could save them for a couple of laps too. Honestly, since we are going to have to pit again anyway, so let's just do it. We'll go on to the softs, which again isn't really the best strategy around here. I'm thinking we do it just purely because it might... we're going to be pitting around the lap where they were out anyways.
Got loads of energy.
And we are kind of gonna just have to here, so let's go attack.
There's been a crash.
Tsunoda's
Sounds like a
crashed.
single car. We can take a look now. Now let's look at this. The focus on Tsunoda.
Locked up and just skated straight up into the wall there. Yeah, we shall try and get the pit stops done there quick. We might lose out a bit to Russell for Vettel since we're double stacking. No, Russell actually pitted too. Actually, he was probably the only one left on the quote-unquote wrong tire, so we'll see. So I'm thinking what we do on the restart is we go standard, we gain a gap, and then we tune it down to light and push fuel. And we'll see how that works out for us. But yeah, everyone else is now on the hards. Unfortunately, we don't have hards. And it's the same situation for Magnussen and Schumacher back here. So it's a bit unfortunate, but these safety car laps are really kind of helping us out here.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car is in this lap.
Safety car in, though, is going to be a bit painful. But yeah, as I said, we're going to just push the fuel that we have, and then we're going to tune down tire usage and try and save these softs, kind of. But so far, we are looking good. But then again, we do need to eke out a pretty significant gap here, because pit times are 22 seconds. So that's basically what we want to eke out on this soft stint. And judging by so far, it should be doable. But again, we do have about 10 laps-ish to get this done. So, yeah, it's going to be
I think we've had a car run wide.
probably still a bit closer than we'd like.
DRS is enabled.
But we
DRS
shall have
is
to see.
enabled.
This game was also with, as you can see, ERS being used. So for now, I think we're just going to watch this to the end. And as you can see here, we are, I think, already kind of losing out in terms of time here. 36-1. We're still gaining a second. It's still not super bad. But, again, the degradation is going to be a concern. And when exactly are we going to be able to go onto the mediums here? Like so. So basically 43, 44. So I don't think we need to save the tires anymore. We can just go standard, try and make the gap. And as I said, as long as we are quicker than the cars behind us, we are going to stay out. And the reason for that is very, very simple. We kind of need to. Because the further, when we pit, the further back we end up, the more cars we need to, you know, make our way through. In quite a short while. So we can, the more cars we get by, the better. Push it to about -1, maybe 0.1, that is. Good balance for him. And as you can see, the time is now getting about the same. So this is probably like the pit lap for Vettel. Or maybe even for Alonso since he's first. I'm thinking we go attack on Vettel and have him overtake. And then we pit him first onto the mediums. And then we do the same here now for Alonso next lap. Tires are severely overheating, but that's fine. We are hitting. And hopefully you can make your way out ahead of Perez. Alonso going attacking might actually be a bit overkill. And again, going on softs to the end wouldn't really work out in our advantage either. So Vettel did make it out ahead of Ocon, which is good to see. But again, we do only have 10 laps now to try and make some moves. And that is going to be painful. No matter how we slice it. Also, did come out quite a bit behind Vettel too, as you can see. So it is going to be an interesting one here. Can we get into points again, or did that safety car actually cause us some pain? Vettel locked up and parked on the track.
Let's have a look. Taking a look again, it involves.
Let's see here. Alonso did overtake him, but we did lose a lot of time there too.
Seems to have been a lockup.
Then Vettel ran wide again. Is that the way to understand it? But yeah, these last couple of races haven't been the best, with Alonso crashing out with the safety car and causing us pain here. But we might still be able to make something out of it. Like, we aren't that far behind the leader.
Sounds like we've had a spin.
So we shall see what we can do.
We're not okay on fuel. Copy.
Should be within DRS now, potentially too. So
Use overtake.
it'll just depend on if we get the overtakes done here and move forwards. Big surprise is that we have Norris in contention too. There we go, that is one dispatched. And we're just gonna allow Vettel to run his own race until he catches up. We might have to tune him up a little bit towards the end. But for now, I feel like it's okay to just let Vettel do his own thing.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
Now, could we get the McLaren too, maybe? Not yet. Do we have enough speed? I don't think so. Not really a full set. We'll go neutral and we'll try and make a move at the same place we did last time. The first few corners. Vettel is getting closer though. Like he is within striking distance too. So we can start making moves with him as well. But again, the concern is that our tires are gonna be, you know, degrading fairly quick. That is a concern we have.
Use overtake. Yep.
We go. Alonso got Norris, 2 Ferraris, and the Mercs left. We also have fastest lap now.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Can't just full send it, unfortunately. Tires also slightly overheating. That's another concern of ours. But it's looking kind of good right now.
That's it.
Very good from Alonso. Vettel also got the move done.
This is good. Come on.
And it's basically already outside of DRS range. That's a bit more than I expected, honestly. Now it's just if we can get the 2 Mercs. And judging by this, it should be doable. Like we're already kissing the back end. There we go. Got it without DRS. Well, I can hope he gets it. We might get blocked. Battle 2 should be close-ish to get something done. We shall see. But Alonso has actually gained first place right now.
You done a good job.
I don't think it's worth trying to slow him down in any way, shape, or form. I don't think we'll be able to pull away enough before we get to the first DRS zone either, or maybe we can.
Energy if you need it. Copy.
The main concern is that we're going to be pulling, you know, the other cars away from Vettel here. Although he does have quite a good top speed here compared to the McLaren. Few things up back here. Alonso is now safe. He is with the outside of DRS. It's just maintaining for him at this stage. The Ferrari though is kind of slow, but still, we do have more top speed. Now it's just getting the two Mercs that are running basically side by side and just blocking the track.
Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
But so far, it's looking really, really promising. I'll be honest. Yeah. Oh, are we sending it in between? What a move! What a move from Vettel that was. Jesus. What a man. And he got DRS too. I want to see that replay.
Okay.
Here's the replay. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Vettel just sending it between the Mercs into the corner. That is beautiful. Kind of a mad lad, honestly. Now, we did use all of our ERS here. Oh, I didn't mean to put it that quickly. But Vettel has pulled out of DRS. So right now we're looking really, really promising in this race, honestly. Yeah, we're looking promising. Unless we have something happen here. We have another 1-2. Very, very good. I was a bit concerned there with the fact that we needed an extra pit stop there at the end due to a safety car. But to be fair, we have a car that is dominant enough that we can make it work. And the fact that Norris is still held on to 5th is quite impressive.
Let's check the flag. Yes, baby.
There we are. 1, 2, 3 and 4 for Mercs. 5th for McLaren. They kind of needed that. Important for them. Leclerc 6th. Verstappen, Perez 7th and 9th. Ocon 8th. Ricciardo 10th. And with that, the Drivers' Championship should have no changes. There is a close between these lads, though, just 12 points. The Ferrari drivers are still going to be fighting it out towards the end there. They're equal. But Alonso gains a little bit more of a breathing space versus Vettel as a result here. At the Constructors' Championship, we have again McLaren just gaining a little bit more safe ground versus Alpine. Alpine did have a couple of good races here lately. But this gives them a bit more, as I said, breathing space. And as I said, for the rest of the teams, it seems to be pretty set in stone already. Development-wise, kind of what we expected. They did get a lot of points from race purely, which is nice to see. And we made an extra 2 million for performance guarantees. We can kind of have to be happy with that. But yeah, we are going to be ending this part here. Next part, the final part, so to speak, of the Aston series, most likely. It's going to be out, I want to say Friday. Probably. I'm kind of focused on Haas right now. And speaking about Haas, I'll be streaming tonight at 6 PM, GMT +2. So drop by if you want to see. We'll be finishing up Season 1 of Haas. Basically getting the restrictions set up. Again, I'm probably going to do a second season with Haas just to get that done. But I think we've done what we kind of wanted to with this game, unfortunately. Well, I mean this playthrough rather, not the game in its entirety. But it is what it is. I might redo this with the restrictions that I'm going to be using for the Canada game. But we'll see. It's been fun. But yeah, as I said, streaming later today. Hope to see you all there. Please like, subscribe. Helps me out a ton. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. And as I said, we'll be aiming at finishing up this season on Friday. Thank you. Hope you all have a good Easter. Bye bye.